I'm Jane Copier, and you're listening to Happy in the Middle, a podcast for Christian women who want to make the second half of life the best half. This podcast is all about helping women to reignite their spark and step into their divine power in order to create deep and connected relationships and also find that fulfillment and satisfaction they crave. So, if you're ready to grow, join me and learn how you too can overcome guilt, resentment, disappointment, and enjoy the fruits of creating a life well lived. Let's go. Hey friends, how are you doing? Welcome back to Happy in the Middle. I'm so glad you're here. Today's episode is number 124, Finding Fault, How Criticism Harms Your Relationships and Your Emotional Health. How are you doing? Are you having a good day? I'm having the best day. I don't know what it is. I just kind of woke up in a good mood. I've had a lot of errands to run today, a lot of work to do. And yet I just feel joyful. It feels really good. I feel like my brain is functioning well. I am thinking really intentionally at this point in my life, and I'm really enjoying the results that's creating for me. I'm loving my family more. I'm loving my friends more. I'm loving my job more. I'm so excited about this episode because it will impact, I think, everybody who listens to it. I think it's something that as human beings, we struggle to overcome. And so I want to share this topic with you and help you gain some traction over your own brain. Our son injured his ankle at work last week, and he cannot drive for a bit. He's a driver, so this is a big bummer. It was not only super painful, it's broken, so it's going to take a long time to heal. It's just a real big bummer for him. But I've been driving him to and from his job because they still have him on a light work duty there. Anyway, it's been great to be able to just chat on those drives. We always have great conversations in the car, and I've really loved having this time with him. But I wanted to share one of those conversations with you because I think it's a really good example of what can happen to our brains when we fall into the habit of finding fault. And I don't share this in criticism of him at all. He's absolutely normal. We all do this. But on our way home yesterday, not only was he in a lot of pain because he hadn't been able to elevate his ankle at all, but he was kind of complaining about his job. And this is kind of a negative attitude I've noticed over the past few months for him. And so I listened to him for a while. And as I was listening, I thought, what can I say to him? How can I help him through this situation? And I said to him, son, what happened? You used to be so proud of getting your Class A CDL license. You were so excited to be driving this big truck and making more money than your last job. What changed? And he thought about it for a moment, and then he proceeded to tell me how there are so many bad drivers on the road, so many idiots on the road. It's just making him crazy. And like so many of us, his brain had become entrenched in a habit of finding fault. And this is so easy to do because our lower brains are wired to scan for problems. It's the simple default for all of us. But the problem with not correcting this default is that we quickly become a victim of our circumstances. We become sucked into negativity and our life experience becomes miserable. Has this ever happened to you? Raise your hand, right? You're so happy to get this new job. Then over time, you grow to hate it, right? You start noticing all these things about your boss that drive you crazy, right? Or maybe you married the love of your life. You were so excited that this person asked you out. Then you became engaged and you got married. And then you started finding fault, right? You started becoming annoyed by every single thing that he did. Finding fault is so destructive because it gradually trains your brain and your nervous system to live in a space of threat, in a space of scarcity, and a space of disconnection. For us, it feels like we're just noticing what's wrong. That's how it feels to us. We're just noticing what's true. But that easily becomes a mental habit of scanning for more. And if we don't catch it, over time, that habit doesn't only affect your relationships, it affects your own mental health. I have listened over and over and over again as my clients have vented about their spouses, have fallen so deep into fault finding that they literally can't stand even the way that they breathe. Fault finding keeps your brain in that negative mode. It's just a downward spiral. And because the way the wiring in our brains work is that the thoughts that we think create these neural pathways, right? And as we practice thinking these thoughts, those pathways grow stronger. So, what that means is when you regularly focus on what's wrong with your spouse, your adult child, your coworkers, yourself, your mind gets faster at spotting those flaws and slower at seeing the goodness. The result of this spiraling is this chronic irritability, feeling this low grade anxiety, feeling resentment, becoming emotionally exhausted, or feeling hopeless. When my son fell into the habit of practicing the thought that all drivers on the roads were idiots, his brain took on the job of confirming this thought and was scanning constantly for all the mistakes that people made and quickly finding them. And sadly, he'd become very dissatisfied with his job instead of enjoying it as he once had. Finding fault can make the world start to feel like a very unsafe and disappointing place because your mind is always gathering evidence for what's wrong and what's missing. I remember when I was a kid, I was early teens, and I had a dance partner. I tried out for this performing group, and I was so excited to make it in to this group. They traveled, they would go to Disneyland to perform and things like that. And at first, I really loved it. But then I was assigned a dance partner that I just didn't click with, right? He had kind of really clammy hands and bad breath, and I could tell he really liked me. And I was just put off by him. And soon this poor guy, nothing he did was right in my mind. And I kind of distanced from him emotionally. I made it a miserable experience for both of us, if I'm being really honest. I could not wait to be done with that group. And, I still feel bad about that. I didn't treat him well, but you can see how fault finding like this can really wreak havoc on our relationships. As I said, none of us are exempt from this issue, right? We all have to learn how to manage our thinking if we want loving and connected relationships, because none of us is perfect. We all have faults. They are there for anyone to find. And on the other hand, there are so many good things about us too. It simply depends on what we choose to notice and what we choose to focus on. When our focus is habitual criticism, it erodes trust. Think about this. Once people feel that they're being evaluated instead of appreciated, instead of being understood, that emotional closeness that we all want to feel fades fast. They will not open to you if they feel judged. Think about where you're at with this in your own marriage right now. It's worth asking ourselves this question and being really honest in our self-evaluation. The quality of your relationship really depends on this, right? When people feel safe, they are accepted, they soften. When they feel judged, they defend, they withdraw, they shut down. One thing that I've noticed in coaching so many couples over the years is that finding fault often reflects this inner distress of the critical party. It's frequently an outer expression of what's going on inside that inner struggle. And sometimes that struggle is perfectionism. Sometimes it's unspoken expectations and resentment that they did not fulfill those expectations. Sometimes it's fear. Sometimes it's a place of feeling unseen or a lack of control. Or I've even seen it be where there's a lot of self-criticism happening, and then we project it outward at our spouse. We're so unhappy with ourselves. And when we get tired of picking on ourselves, we pick on someone else. Sometimes the habit is less about the other person and more about our own nervous system needing to find some relief. So the way to shift this is to move from judgment to curiosity. The antidote is not pretending problems don't exist. They're always going to exist. But it's learning to replace character judgment with specific observation of specific events, and then speaking to ourselves from that place with curiosity. So here's what I mean. Instead of judging someone's character, instead of saying he's so selfish, I'm going to look at the facts, right? And see what actually happened, and then notice what's happening inside me. And so instead of saying he's so selfish, I shift to, I notice that I feel hurt when I don't feel considered. It's gaining a greater understanding of what's happening for you inside. That change protects dignity. It keeps your own emotions clean. And it also helps you get really honest with yourself. What's really going on here? Is it really that he has a character issue, or is that I don't feel like my needs are being considered here, or that he is not understanding me? Right? So we have to catch the label or the criticism. Okay. So notice when your mind uses identity words like lazy or selfish, irresponsible, dramatic, inconsiderate. When we assign these character labels, it's not helpful. You have to translate that label into a behavior. Ask yourself, this is what we do. We're going to find exactly what the circumstance is. What exactly happened? Right? This is only the facts, keeping all of the judgment and the storytelling out of this. So, for example, instead of he's so lazy, the facts were the dishes weren't done, right? Instead of he's so selfish, that the facts might be he made plans without asking me, right? Specific facts reduce the emotional charge. Because once you can see the facts as they are, then you can ask yourself, what is my deeper need here? Why am I feeling upset? Usually fault finding is covering that tender need, that tender wish, that tender desire that we might not have even shared with our partner. Ask yourself, do I need support? Do I need clarity? Do I feel appreciated? Do I need more rest? Am I just tired? Do I feel like I need some respect or partnership, some reassurance? Naming the desire and then revealing that desire to your partner is where healing begins. This is the first step. This is a bid for connection. This is saying, here I am. This is my underbelly. This is my vulnerability. I'm feeling this way because, and then state it. And again, we're not attacking character. We're just sharing how we feel. We're sharing an emotional truth. And this might not immediately result in changing your partner's behavior, but this kind of openness, this kind of honesty is a bid to connect, and they will feel the intimacy of it, right? And instead of telling them what they have to do to make you happy, right? Here's my manual for you, and this is what you need to do in order to make me happy. You're simply sharing your feelings, and you're giving them the opportunity to choose to give it or not. But at least they're aware, and they feel the intimacy and the invitation in it. Now, if you're already in the habit of finding fault in your marriage, your mind just needs a little retraining, right? There is no faster or better way to do this than by practicing appreciation on purpose. So a simple daily reset might look like first thing in the morning, write down 3 things this person did right or did well in your opinion, right? Or if the struggle is self-criticism, write the 3 things that you did well. What this does is it interrupts the brain's fault-finding scanning loop, and it gives it a new direction to pursue, right? Boss your brain around, tell it what to find. This new direction will help restore that emotional balance. When I started incorporating this practice in my own marriage, I was dumbstruck. Honestly, I was amazed to see all of the wonderful things my husband had done and was doing for me and our family. I remember feeling absolutely shocked because I had missed seeing it. My brain was so focused on criticism and the negative things about my spouse, I could not see the good. I was only focused on finding the faults. This practice really helped me to wake up to the truth of his goodness. It was incredible. It was such a shift. One of the thoughts that I love to share with my clients, and one that you can practice too, is when you have a critical thought about your partner, to think, this person is a human having a human moment, just like me at times. Do you feel the honesty and the compassion and the love that comes with that thought? Like, he's kind of a mess, just like me. He makes mistakes, just like me. He's a human having a human reaction, just like me. That thought creates compassion without denying reality. We all mess up. We all do annoying things. That is just the way of it. Our work is to extend grace in those moments when our partner is the annoying mess, just as we hope for the same grace when we are the mess. In healthy relationships, people still address issues, but they do it from a place of clarity instead of criticism. They talk about facts instead of criticizing and judgment. And that changes everything. It makes it so that you can live in a place of peace. It makes it so your relationships and your emotional well-being are healthier and more connected. Where are you falling into a place of finding fault? Is it in your job, in your home, your kids, your spouse? I really encourage you to take some time this week to think on it and then get to work making this shift for yourself. Going back to the story with my son, as we talked about this, and I could show him that that thought was creating a lot of anxiety and unrest and judgment and criticism and misery in his job. Instead of that thought that there are so many idiots and bad drivers on the road, I helped him find a new thought. And the new thought was this: good thing I'm the one behind the wheel. Good thing I'm a good driver because I can help keep all of the crazy safe on the road. Good thing it's me because I can help make this all better, right? When he tried that thought on, it completely changed the way that he felt about his job and how he could better handle the stress of crazy drivers on the road. Thank heaven it's me behind this wheel. Otherwise, there could be a real mess, right? Good thing it's me. This is life-changing work, my friends. I have watched my clients go from hating their lives to absolutely loving them again by incorporating this one simple tool, and you can do it too. If you want some support, I would love to be your coach. Go to my website, janecopier.com, and book a free call with me. Have a beautiful week, my friends, and I will see you next time. Bye now. Hey, if you are ready to get unstuck and make your midlife amazing, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. And I want to invite you to join my Empty Nest Academy, where you will learn how to transform your mind, your relationships, and your life. Come free yourself of regret and disappointment and be so much happier. Listen, sis, we've got one shot at this big, beautiful life. Let's make it amazing. Go to janecopier.com, that's JaneCopier.com, and sign up today. And if you're not sure what's right for you, book a free consultation with me and we'll talk it over together. And we'll make sure to get you on the path that serves you the best. See you inside.